Okay, so we've talked about rigid lines. Now let's talk about flexible lines. Now, flexible lines basically fall into two camps. You have like the outer cotton braid shell, and then you have the metal wire, metal mesh outside shell, the wire braid. Now, you won't likely be manufacturing wire braid, but it's very similar if you ever do to the cotton braid on the outside. So here we have a flexible line that has failed inspection, mainly because of corrosion. You'll be able to see the corrosion on the B-nut up front. It's also super tight. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to have some flex, because as flexible hoses flex, the AC 4313 says to leave 5 to 8% of flex in the hose to account for pressurization, depressurization, vibration, compensation, that sort of thing. Reason being, if you make it super banjo tight, it's got nowhere to go. So essentially, as you pressurize that and that rubber starts to expand, it's already over torqued, or it's already not over torqued, but it's already overstressed, and that will cause a failure to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this line off, and we're going to manufacture a new line and then reinstall it.
All right, so here we're just going to brake torque on it. This thing's been set up for over 30 years, so man, it was on super duper tight. But once you get torque broke, they generally will just spin off. Not really that big of a deal for it. Now, these flexible lines are something that you're going to have to get intimately familiar with. The only time that you won't see it, matter of fact, I don't know that there is ever a time that you won't see them, you won't have to deal with them. Something you need to look for is that they'll get hard. See, this one's all set up and dry rotted because it hadn't even been used in a long time. If you were to actually run fuel through that at any sort of like pressure, it would probably leak all over the place, and that's pretty dangerous. Now, the first thing that we need to do to manufacture it is just know how long of a hose that we need. So this one is took the 12-inch scale out from my toolbox and then just started measuring. It comes out to be 26.5 inches. Not really that big of a deal. We're just going to just cut it, some off of our spool, and then we'll go on to the next step.
26.5.
All right, here's our spool. First thing to do is make sure that we prevent any kind of fraying. You don't want, this is almost more for your sanity than anything else. We're going to take some painter's tape, and we're just going to tape it up so that way it doesn't fray on the end, and then we'll mark the other side as well. So I had to go and measure out 26 inches again, but we're going to take that painter's tape and then we're going to put it over the area that we're going to cut from the spool. Alright, now that we've got our spot marked, we're going to put it in the vise, get lined up where our cut edge is hung out. You don't necessarily have to use a vise, but the vise does make it a lot simpler. This is a little bitty $30 vise from Home Depot that just goes on the side of the toolbox. And we're just going to cut it with a hacksaw, and that will go on to the next step. Okay, first step is we screw on with reverse threads the socket end. It's the yellow piece right there. Once we get it going, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so we have the B-nut, the sleeve, and the mandrel. The mandrel's the long silver piece that you see on the right. That's actually a tool, not part of it. We're going to put the sleeve into the B-nut just like you would on a rigid line or whatever. Then we'll screw the B-nut onto the mandrel so that way it's tight. Now, here's the key to this whole process. This torque, whenever you go and tighten the mandrel down to the B-nut, it needs to be obscenely tight, because what you're going to do is you're going to over tighten it to the point where whenever you screw the B-nut, the sleeve, into the hose, it won't come loose. It needs to be basically work as a single piece, and so that's what we're doing. And the vise is super helpful with that. Whenever y'all get here, y'all actually have real tables and vices. They just haven't come in yet. So you're going to screw in the sleeve you're going to screw the B-nut assembly into the socket there, and it's you're going to get it all the way down. Now, the key here is don't over tighten it, because you need the B-nut to spin. So you need to leave a little gap, so that way the B-nut can spin onto the flange. And this is what it looks like whenever you're ready to actually tighten the sleeve of the B-nut in. Alright, so now that it's mounted in the vise, you're just going to simply go and start tightening, and you're going to close the gap between the B-nut and the socket down to probably about like 1/4 of an inch. There's not a set standard, but the main thing is that you want the B-nut to spin, and you definitely want more of the sleeve in the socket than out. Once it's set at a certain place that you want it to be, you're going to go and then you're going to break torque on all that torque that you put on whenever you install the mandrel, so that way then you can uninstall the mandrel. And once it's set up, you simply like break torque on the mandrel with the B-nut in the vise, and we are off to the races. All we got to do is get the mandrel off, and the hose is ready to go back and install. Okay, now once the mandrel's out, you just want to take it out of the vise, and then you want to ensure that the B-nut can move. There's no damage that's been done to any of the hose, and that it is ready to install. Alright, let's say we've pressure tested this and we know that it can withstand the pressure. We're going to just slide it back into the place of the original hose that we took off. Maintain the same routing, make sure that it goes back so that way it's not rubbing or chafing on anything. The B-nut's not cross-threaded, it's straight, it goes in all the way to where hand tight, and then we're going to go and grab our torque wrench, make sure that it's set to the appropriate torque it so that way it's not over torqued, so that way it avoids being damaged from over tightening, but it's also torqued sufficiently enough so that way it doesn't leak or go anywhere. Now with anything that we torque, that we want to come back with a witness mark, so we're going to use our paint marker just like we did on the original line, draw a straight line from the B-nut onto the fitting, so that way we know that if it ever moves. And then AC 4313 states that for every 24-inch of hose there should be one Adele clamp or standoff of some variety. This is a 26.5-inch hose. It actually goes through a grommet on the bottom of the engine pan there, so we only have to install the one Adele clamp.